Seeing that Talia didn't respond and that Damon didn't react, Casey felt emboldened. "Answer me!" Casey hissed at Talia and spoke to Damon without removing her gaze from Talia. "Is this how your Omegas act? You really need a Luna to teach them some manners. Sneaking in the dark and stealing food, and then they even refuse to respond? That's enough, Casey." Maya spoke sternly from the door. Maya's heart cracked when she saw Talia's submissive stance. Casey didn't have any aura, but Talia seemed a broken soul who needed a supportive environment. Maya walked to Talia and asked softly, "Are you okay?" Talia nodded faintly, but Maya knew that Talia lied. Maya narrowed her eyes at Damon and spoke through the mind link. "Is this why you brought her here? I thought you promised her protection and not another type of hell. Come, let's get out of here." Maya spoke to Talia while wrapping her arm around Talia's shoulders. "We didn't finish here." Casey spoke stiffly, hoping that Damon would back her up. "What do you want, Casey?" Maya snapped. "Do I need to remind you that you represent a guest? You have no right to boss around or bully members of our pack. If they did something you don't approve of, you can report it. Do not act like a judge and executioner. If you have any problems with this, you can challenge me to a match. In case you win, I will gladly give you my position as the beta of the Dark Howlers pack. And if you don't have the guts to face me, then stay out of my way." Damon watched as Maya let Talia out, and rage bubbled inside him that was immediately extinguished by the feeling of guilt because he felt angry at himself. This represented his fault. Damon felt surprised to see Talia in the kitchen, and he told himself to stay out of it because he shouldn't expose that Talia held importance. After all, Casey could flap her mouth, but Damon would never let her really harm Talia. Talia's defeated expression created an agonizing hole in his chest. He could see her disappointment and the moment when that little trust she had in him vanished. The pain felt unbearable. "Talia is upset because of me," Damon spoke to his wolf. "You stood and did nothing while that she-wolf disparaged our mate, and you broke the promise of giving her food because our mate left without eating anything. Again, and let's not forget that the same nasty she-wolf attached herself to your left." His wolf spoke with disapproval before retracting to the back of Damon's mind. "Maya, can you make sure that Talia gets something to eat?" Damon asked through the mind link. "Oh, so now you care about Talia?" Maya snapped at him. "If you cared a minute ago, Talia would pick her food and not be chased out like a thief." "Don't talk to me like that," Damon growled. "Oh, I apologize, Alpha Damon. Where are my manners?" Maya responded sarcastically. "I suggest that you stay away from Talia. Stick to Casey. That's what you excel at, and leave this poor woman alone. She's suffered enough. As your beta, I will take the responsibility of arranging different accommodations for Talia." "No!" Damon shouted into the mind link, but his message hit a wall which told him that Maya shut him out. "Don't pay attention to Casey," Maya told Talia when they exited into the garden. "Casey talks big, but she represents no one. She wouldn't dare to harm you." Talia didn't respond. If Casey represented no one, why didn't Alpha Damon say something? Why didn't he clarify that Talia lived here? Why did he act like he didn't know who she represented? "I didn't steal," Talia spoke after some time. "The lights stayed off, and I assumed that everyone slept. I didn't need lights, so I didn't turn them on." "Our Omegas don't linger in the pack house," Maya explained. "They come once a week to clean and do laundry. They help with food preparations when we host a party, and you might find one or two of them in the evening hours helping Steph with dishes, and they turn off the lights when they leave because we don't have visitors after dinner hours." Talia thought about how that differed. In the Red Moon Pack, they had Omegas around until midnight, and the first ones would start their duties at dawn. That's why Talia assumed it seemed very late and no one stayed awake. If she knew, she would turn on the lights, and maybe that would allow her to avoid this all-too-familiar, uncomfortable situation. "You went to the kitchen," Maya spoke. "Do you feel hungry?" "No," Talia denied it. It didn't mean that she didn't feel hungry, but she had a good meal that morning, and that exceeded what she usually had. She got used to skipping meals and didn't want to go back to that kitchen and risk meeting Cassie or anyone else. Talia remembered that Stephanie spoke how Cassie wanted to become the Luna, and the way Cassie clung onto Damon's arm, it looked like she had good chances of accomplishing it. Talia decided that if Cassie became the Luna of the Dark Howlers pack, Talia would leave. A woman who immediately accused a person of sneaking and stealing couldn't represent a good Luna. Talia already saw one which seemed selfish and heartless, and she didn't want to see another one. On the other hand, maybe she should just leave without waiting to hear how the matter between Cassie and Damon would conclude. Because an alpha who could watch while another person got wrongly accused and say nothing about it didn't represent a righteous alpha. Somehow, Talia thought that Alpha Damon differed. "Do you want to go inside?" Maya asked Talia. Talia wanted to go into the forest, but she feared that if she spoke that to Maya, she would prevent her from going. After all, Alpha Damon told Talia that she couldn't go beyond the garden without notifying him. But then, he spoke that no one would bully her either. "Feel free to go back," Talia spoke with a small smile. "I'm sure that Beta Caden waits for you. I will stay here a bit. I will be fine." "Okay. Let's go shopping for clothes tomorrow afternoon." Maya spoke and continued without giving Talia time to respond. "Talia, think about what you want. I don't say this to sway you one way or another, but I want you to stay aware of your surroundings. I can arrange for you to stay with the Omegas. That will help you blend in. Or, if you prefer on your own, we have apartments." Talia felt unsure what to say. She didn't want to stay in the pack house. Yes, the room seemed nice, and the bed felt warm, and the towels felt fluffy, but the alpha only brought trouble with him. And based on tonight's episode, it seemed that whatever protection he had for her, it ran out. But she felt anxious at the thought of living with Omegas because those represented her bullies from the past. And she never lived on her own, so that represented a completely foreign concept. Maya saw that Talia stood on the verge of panic, so she quickly spoke. "You don't need to decide now. I advise you to stay here at least until your bruises heal. But think about it, okay? Options exist for you. No one will force you to stay here or anywhere else. I will make sure of that." Talia relaxed a bit. "Thanks." "My room stays on the second floor. When you climb the stairs, take right. It represents the last room on the left." Maya spoke and pointed at the last 3 windows on the second floor. The light stayed on. "If you need anything, anytime, come and find me." With that, Maya left Talia in the garden. Talia found herself surrounded by silence that broke by the occasional rustling of leaves under the breeze. It felt familiar, yet somehow she felt empty, like she lost something. She lost hope. Talia exhaled softly and shook her head. It represented her fault. Since she accepted Alpha Damon's offer, she allowed herself to hope that things would get better. And this didn't seem better. It seemed the same, but wrapped in a different container. Just like many times before, Talia stood alone in the darkness, hungry, bullied, and wearing clothes that used to belong to someone else. Stealing her resolve, Talia started walking. No matter what the future brought, she knew that she would need her herbs. Talia relaxed the moment she entered the protection the trees provided. She didn't fear the darkness or the creatures of the forest, knowing that the biggest monsters represented people themselves, werewolves included. Step by step, Talia made her way deeper into the forest, and she carefully placed collected plants in the few sheets of paper towels which she took from the bathroom and concealed under the elastic of her leggings. Bunchberry, fringe cup, moonflower, alum root, they all stayed there, offering to Talia their leaves and petals like they knew she came.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.